Means time for another card. So let me go ahead and do a little refreshing over here off to the left so that I can see y'all giving me comments and all the things, because that's a lot more fun if I know when things are happening over here. Because you'd be sending me like a question or a comment and I will not respond to it, and that's just rude. So there you go. All right, I'm going to get a quick drink and then we're going to get started. All right, so tonight's card, hey Jenny, appreciate you coming, or Ginger. Thank you for joining me here on Saturday. Hi Susan from Florida, and Amy, thanks for coming. So tonight's card is a fun fold. It is a bay window card, so different than the open bay window card, which does actually look quite a bit different. They're both bay windows to some extent, but this, you'll notice that this is what an open bay window looks like. And what we're using tonight is a closed regular bay window, regular old bay window. And I have used some DSP from the Peaceful Garden DSP pack. I have used the Peace on Earth bundle and the Snowy Delights bundle. Now, I know I don't usually use a couple of different bundles from different suites, but this time I thought it was appropriate because they all just came together like peanut butter and jelly. Hello, everybody. I appreciate you guys coming. Thank you so much. Thanks, Faith. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. So it just occurred to me, I think I put this on a little crookedy. Well, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. There we go. Okay. I don't know how I got it so crooked. My goodness. Apparently my eyeballs were crooked when I put that on there, so that's better. So you can see how the bay window works. This little tab right here, a little 1/4-inch tab, just slides into what is in many ways an easel stop. You can see this piece is popped up, and then you can open it right up to see the inside, and it lays down flat to go into your envelope. Easy peasy. So I've got the DSP, I've got a couple of shiny snowflakes, and a few pretty doves. So this will all be on my blog tomorrow. Don't need to take notes or nothing. You can just watch along, and let's get started. So we're going to start with a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of crumb cake cardstock, and I am going to score it multiple times. Here we go. Let's get some stuff out the way. Got myself in a bit of a bind here, Bob. Hey, Jean from Maryland. Thank you for joining. I hope you are getting some nice farmer's rain. I know we could certainly stand a little. I was looking, our pond is quite down right now. Okay, so we're going to score 5 times, okay? The first one is at 1/4 inch. Just be sure you use the light gray blade, or you will end up cutting where you didn't mean to cut. So 1/4 inch, then 1.5 inches. Just slide it along like that. Give it a good burnish. Then 3 1/4. 4 1/2, and one more at 5 1/2, and that is all. Okay, so now we're ready to do a little scoring. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold in at the 5 1/2. So now that's really just exactly like a regular card, right? Then the next guy, we're going to go the other direction. And if you are a normal person who does a lot of fun folds, you might recognize that now, if I adhered this, which I'm going to in a minute, it looks just like a book fold, right? But we're going to go ahead and make the bay windows. So I'm going to fold the next score the opposite direction. So now you can kind of see what we have going here, okay? And then we're going to fold this one in that same direction again. Give it a good burnish. And then we will fold the 1/4 inch line the opposite direction. Okay? Okay. So now you can kind of see what we've got going on. You can distinctly see the bay window, and we're going to put this together now exactly like a book fold. Okay, so hey Daryl, appreciate you coming, and Joan. All right, so now just like a book fold, we're going to put a little bit of liquid glue. This is between the the 4.5-inch score line and the 5.5. You're just going to put a little bit of liquid glue in there and then adhere the front down to the back like that and give it a good little rubbity rub. Hey Claire, appreciate you coming. Hi Janice. All right. Oh, thanks Beth. Okay, so we are now just going to be doing a little bit of DSP adhering, but first I'm going to do a little DSP stamping. I have 2 pieces of cloud cover design from the Peaceful Garden. And what I did is I took this really cute little snowflake guy. Oh, snowflake guy, where are you? That's sentiment guy. Here's snowflake guy. Let me wipe that off. I got a little bit carried away with it, apparently. Okay, and I'm just going to stamp this all over these 2 strips. Okay, and when you're doing this, you can kind of, I think you'll like it better if you turn it around every few times, you know, so you don't get the same exact design each time you stamp it. Did that make any sense at all? Yes. Okay. And we can go some right there. We're just adding a little bit of something. Because when I first did it with it and without these, I didn't like it. I said, that's not good. Let's put some snowflakes on there. So then we'll do the other one. And then we can just start adhering these to our card base. Real easy. Because you have 3 different measurements. You cut 2 of one of them, 2 of a second one, and 1 of the final one. Okay, so we're all stamped up there. And I'll go ahead, and those 2 go on these 2 panels, so we can just go ahead and adhere those. Now, I didn't use mats. I pushed the measurement out so that there's only 1/8 of an inch difference, width and height, than my card base. So that's a little unusual. Usually I would mat this, but I decided to go without, just to have it be a little cleaner, a little lighter weight, a little less thickness. As we head into, I've already gotten the notices from Pirate Ship, my shipping software, that the rates are going up for Christmas. Not from them, but from the Postal Service. So yay! They're going to charge us extra to send cards at Christmas. Isn't that special? Okay. Now, I have a second design from the DSP, and I'm going to adhere one of them. It's got stars on it. I thought that was pretty appropriate for my snowflakes. We'll just go ahead and adhere these. This one goes to what let's just call it the book fold. It's the book fold panel. Okay. And then this one is the center panel. Effective October 5th through January 18th. Awesome. Oops, almost put my glue on the wrong side. I mean, this is pretty, but it would not go with this card at all. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Okay, here we go. All right, just get that centered up on that middle panel. And then before I get all the front decorated, this is not decorated, this is just started. Let's go ahead and get the inside done. Now, the thing that makes the bay window is this strip right here. So this is just a 1" by 4 1/4" strip of the same color cardstock as your card base. And then it's got a piece of the DSP, and I kind of chose to make it so that when the bay was open, or closed like that, that it was every other one. You can do however you like with it. All right, so we're going to adhere that, and then I'm going to stick that on with dimensionals. You can see the dimensionals there, but it's a little hard to say how to do this in the directions. But what we're going to do, and you'll see it, is we're going to keep the dimensionals back from this edge about, I don't know, 1/4 inch. Does 1/4 inch sound familiar? Yes, that's because you need to be able to slide that little tab under there. And if you've got dimensionals right up against it, that's going to be, well, one could even say impossible. Okay, I will show you what I mean. So here's my 1" by 4 1/4" piece of crumb cake cardstock. We'll put a little bit of that starry DSP on there. We just had, our friends just left at about 6:20. We had a really nice time, had pizza, and she brought a homemade apple pie, and William, their teenager, had made homemade vanilla ice cream, and that didn't suck either, and so we were doing pretty good. All right, now let's talk about dimensionals. Can I tell you about a story about dimensionals? We're going to put plenty of them on, but I'm not going to go really much closer than that, okay? So you want to give them enough to make it pretty sturdy, but even that one is a little closer than I like. Okay, so just use a little common sense right in here. Come here now. There, that's good. And then we'll go right along this edge. Need some more dimensionals. Doo-dah, doo-dah. All right, and there we go. Now, when you put this on, we're going to line up the top and bottom and then this far edge. All right, so it is going to be exactly lined up with the edges of the card base. Do-do, do-do-do. Okay, I'm gonna tell on my dog. So, we had apple pie, homemade apple pie, and homemade ice cream for dessert. William and Josh were dishing out, and I was putting the dishes on the table. So I put one on the table, and I went back to get another one, and all of a sudden I hear Wayne say, "Finn, no!" Yes, it's true. Finn had stuck his big nose up and was sideways licking one of the ice creams. I was like, dude, seriously? Okay, now you can see this edge without the dimensionals. It's going to go towards the inside of the card. All right, and then we're just going to line this up, top, sides, and bottom, like that. You can kind of turn it to be sure it's not showing and it doesn't look like it is, and then you can just kind of give it a little rub. Okay. For the inside liner, it's a lot easier to do this before you get a whole bunch of bulk on the front of your card. I am going to stamp Peace on Earth. That is from the Peace on Earth stamp set. I know, weird, right? I know. Amy, I know you're kind of laughing, but it doesn't sound like Finn. I was so shocked I almost fell over because I've never worried about that because he really is pretty good about not doing that like that. I mean, yes, does he stand by the table? Yes. But has he ever put his face up there and been like, well, I'll just get me some of that? No, he hasn't done that. So I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so there's Peace on Earth in Secret Sea. Now I'm going to take my snowflakes again, and I'm going to stamp them around the tops and the bottom corner. And I'm going to do it in Stamped Off Once Secret Sea, which is sort of an equivalent of cloud cover to me. Okay, so I just did a little one so that I could put a fill in right there, and then we'll do another one. He did, I know. I mean, you can't really blame him, but I was like, dude, seriously, how rude. How rude, man. I was like, excuse my dog. He's not usually like that, but sometimes he's like that. And they did their usual thing. They both acted like fools for like 4 minutes, and then they were done. And Josh, Amita's husband, said, man, I like dogs like that just, they go crazy for 5 minutes and then they're done. I said, yes, I know. I wouldn't mind not having the crazy part, let's be real, because it was pretty crazy for a few minutes. But then they all settled down and were very good. Okay, now what are you doing there, liquid glue? Must have left it open a little too long. All right, there we go. Nope, she spoke too soon. Come on now, there it is. Okay. Oh, ooh, I had like a blowout there. All right, that'll be fine. At least it's towards the middle. I must have had a little clog. I had a little cloggy poo. Okay, let me not do that again, dork. That would have been funny if I just put it down again and let it do the same thing over, huh? Okay, and we'll just slide that right in there like so. And that looks straight. Okay, so there's our inside. And you can see the bay window is already bay windowizing. All right, so now I use the Snowy Delights. There's two detailed dies. So I used this one to cut out a piece of blue Peaceful Garden glimmer paper, and this one to cut a piece of silver Peaceful Garden glimmer paper. And they look a little something like this. Aren't those so beautiful and pretty? Ooh, I love them in this glimmer paper. Now what we're going to do is we're going to adhere these together, and these little stars actually kind of line up if you pay attention. You just got to get it worked out. And we're going to adhere it. I keep putting it too far that way. There we go. We're going to adhere it right there like that. But I want to line up these arms, okay? So I will put some liquid glue. I think I'll put the liquid glue on here, like so. Let's see what we got here. Okay. We'll just put some glue on these, like that. And then we're gonna line this up. I keep saying that, and then I put it on and it looks all screwy. And you're like, Mary, stop saying it and do it. Stop saying it and do it, Mary. Goodness. Goodness and also gracious. Okay, so this little guy is going to center up right on the middle panel. And we will use liquid glue for that as well. Just right in here. You don't need it out. You don't want it out on those outer edges, okay? If you do, you're going to find yourself sticking in places that nobody wants to stick. All right, so let's get that centered up like so. And I'll tell you what, let's lay this down flat so we have something to work against. Okay, all right, so that looks centered and straight up and down. So that can sit for a second while we make us a sentiment. And I don't want to forget my ribbon. I have cut, now the cool thing, one of the cool things about the Peace on Earth set is you get two label dies. So I've used the smaller one here, and I'm going to stamp Joy to the World, and this one is from Peace on Earth as well. No, Joy to the World is from Snowy Delights, sorry. So I got a sentiment and some die cuts from both of them. Well, if that's a pale green, that is so pale, my eyeballs can't see it. But it is probably true. That's, yeah, dark gray, blue, and light green. Okay. Yeah, I can sort of see some green tingling wingles in there. All right, so we're going to put this on straight. I'm pulling it down to me because I want to be able to get it sort of straight. Okay, there we go. All right. And then here comes those snowflakes again. Oh dear, I need to wipe this off. Here we go. All right, and I'm going to do the stamping off again. Okay, so it kind of pales out there. And we'll stamp those a couple of times around the sentiment. Thanks, Tina. I appreciate that. This is a beautiful suite. It really is. And then we can go and put a piece right there like that. And I think I'll do one more right there. Okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to use some glue dots to put some of our pretty this is silver edged ribbon in Misty Moonlight, so it's Misty Moonlight and silver. And we're going to put a loop-de-loop. That's a technical term. Now, y'all are welcome to use that if you like, but you have to be able to be ready to explain it. Okay, so this is a loop-de-loop. We're going to do one just about like that. And what I did is I just sort of eyeball measured it. Like I went like that and said, yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so it's exactly that technical. I'm just throwing that out there. And we can go ahead and snip that off. and get that gone. Now, what I liked to do is kind of hold on to this because I got it good, you know what I'm saying? And I want it to stay like that. So now I will take a tweezers and fold it like so. And then I'm going to use another tweezers. See, I have two tweezers on purpose. Oh, there went a marker down through the hole in my desk. I'm going to put some liquid glue. You're like, Mary, that is not liquid glue. That is glue dots all day long and twice on Sunday. So we'll put some glue dots here in the center. The Stampin' Seal, I tried it the first time using some of the Seal Plus. It didn't really work so good. Okay, so I used glue dots. And what you have to do is kind of do it in sort of like stages. So if you can get it going, and if you need to put another one in there to get that ribbon adhered real good, then that's what you need to do. You know what I always say? It's paper, in this case ribbon, so make it do what you need it to do. If you need to stick some more glue dots in there to hold it down, that's what you need to do. If you get it the first time without having to do anything extra, you got it, kid. You did it. All right, so now I will adhere this with dimensionals right in the center like that. All right, and I will just go ahead and put my, this is why you want that ribbon stuck down good, right? Because you are anchoring your sentiment on it, at least part ways. I'm using plenty of dimensionals. Get the lids off here. All right. Oh, I think, yeah, it would be very difficult. One thing about the Snowy Delights is it does come with the masks, the 4 masks to make blended snowflakes. But man, I'll tell you what, I also would have a hard time picking if I was only going to have one or the other. But if I was really, truly only going to have one or the other, I don't think I could do it. But I might go with the Delicate Pines. I'm just saying. But this one is pretty cool too. So I'm not going to say that, okay? Because I don't know. I don't want to steer you wrong. All right, so we're going to pop that guy on. And I'm going to pick it up and look at it. Yep, it looks pretty straight. Okay, now let's decorate him. I cut out both of the doves. So you have one that's swooping in and one that's swooping in that way. And then from the pale green, looks like silver, pale green glimmer paper, I cut 2 of the twiggies. And here's what I did with them. I just wanted them to be like right behind the little guy's beak. So I just put a little bit of liquid glue on there and then stuck it down. And then I'm going to add a little more when I go ahead and put him on the card front. Does that make sense? I want to adhere this to the dove. Do you know what he is? This is the wings of a snow white dove right there. See? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to adhere that like that. Okay. And I'm going to do the same with the second one. But on this one, I'm going to actually, watch this little trick. I'm going to adhere him to his wing and put his little beak right in front of it, like that. Okay, so he's actually adhered at the wing, but it's going to look like he's holding it in his beak, just like that. And eventually that glue will take. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm also going to use glue again. Come on now. That worked so well the first time I did it. Here, we can just pick him up because we're going to add glue to the back of the dove and also to the back of the twig. Now, you want to kind of see where he's going to go. So I don't want glue way out here on these wingtips, right? So let's just keep it down in here and on the back of the twig because you want to adhere that twig down. And then we'll put him right like that. Just like that. Hold it for just a second so that the glue takes. Okay. And then this guy, what I did with him is I really wanted that wing right in that indent of the sentiment. Okay, so again, I'm gonna do on the top part of his body, part of this wing, and then on the back of the twig as well. So body, part of the wing, and this wing, and a little bit on that twig too. Did y'all see how I did that? And then set him on, get him where you want him, and then just wait a second for the glue to take. And that's all of that. There we go. Ooh, white velvet. I'll bet that would be pretty. I have to confess, I have a physical reaction to velvet, like not a allergic reaction, just a chill run up my spine reaction. So I just can't. Okay, so in case you missed it, that's the card front. Here's what it looks like when it's going on its way as a display. The thing that's so lovely about them is they stand up beautifully like that. So they're really nice on your, like on your mantle or on a shelf. Very pretty, but you can also open it to see the inside and also close it to mail it. One thing I will tell you is you want to be sure that this wing is far enough from this fold that when your recipient opens the card, you aren't bending that wing. Okay, so if you center it like I have done here, just make sure that you don't get too carried away pushing it to that side of the sentiment label. I'm just saying, this is plenty of clearance, so it's good to go. So let's just do a quick envelope and we will be done ski. I'm gonna pull out those snowflakes again. I really love this little snowflake image, it's so pretty. And we're going to put it on the front in Stamped Off Once, Secret C again. And like so, okay. Yes, I will be back on Thursday. I do not know what we're gonna make yet, but I hope it'll be something that you like. We're gonna use some of this snowy, starry paper from the Peaceful Garden DSP. I love this suite. The Peaceful Garden suite is, the Peaceful Garden suite is beautiful. And I do love those dove die cuts, don't you? Aren't they so pretty? And actually, it's kind of interesting. The sentiments are not completely Christmassy. So you've got heartfelt prayers and deepest sympathy. So I like the idea of using the doves for a sympathy card. I think that's quite nice. So it's a pretty versatile suite, really, I think. Okay, there they are. I lost it. Thank you, Marva. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate you. We'll do this easy fussy cut. Again, I would like some props. There are no fussy cuts required on this card except for this one, and it really doesn't even count. I don't think it counts. So I call this a no fussy cutting card. All right, there we go. Christmas is ready in this case, or change it up, change that DSP a little bit, and make it into a sympathy card. But the bay window is a wonderful, wonderful, easy peasy fun fold, and I think you're gonna like it. Thank you all for spending part of your Saturday with me. I appreciate it, and I hope I'll see you back on Thursday. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks. Ta.